dreams.
WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Before coffee on a Tuesday, it's already been a bad week. My girls had a couple flats, my dishwasher sprung a leak. From the kitchen, her complaining, you know it just ain't cute anymore. I get the kitchen and start to drift towards the great outdoors. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a fence.
WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
All right, I am up, I am running. Hello, everybody, we are back. All right, everybody, come on in, have a seat. It is a beautiful Sunday, and it is time for Kicking It with Koz. I am obviously not Koz. Koz has decided to play hooky for the next hour. Go figure, right? So I'm kind of just going to have a little bit of fun on my own. Does that sound okay? I hope so. So come on in. Let's have a little bit of fun, okay? All right, everybody. I think I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Well, if I haven't, I haven't. Oh, I bet you I know there we go. I needed to do one other thing, and there I am up, and I am good to go. I'm happy. So how is everybody doing today? I know, weather has been really interesting, even where I'm at right now. Right now, February is usually the worst month. And we actually have been having 40s and 50s where I'm at. And that is just unheard of. So, it's... Oh, geez. My misspelling. There we go. It's just kind of weird. I mean, everybody's like, oh, climate change. No. We have cycles that we go through in the world, in the United States, everywhere. And this is just one of those cycles. I suspect in another year or two, we're going to have a freeze. It happens. I don't mind the fact it's nice because, well, quite honestly, it gives me a little bit of a relief. And that's helpful. Quite helpful, actually. So oh, this is interesting. I'm trying to figure something out, and boy, am I having an interesting time with it. I'll figure it out. There we go. Dang. It's interesting. something minimized on me that I did not expect to minimize on me. Now I'm trying to figure how to get it back. Dang. I'll have to figure it out later. Oh well. Anyway, so that's what I've been dealing with. I hope everybody else is doing well. Come on in, enjoy the crowd, enjoy the talk. Hello, Holly. It's good to see you. Hello, everybody. It is great to see you. I hope everybody's feeling great, and everybody's kind of feeling the love, because you know what? There we go. I got it up. Ha. I am. This week, tell you what, I had a very rough week this week. I'll admit it. I've had a lot of pain this week. My pain comes from bad, how do I want to put it? Bad weather. As simple as that. Moving through. In other words, weather fronts. Weather fronts, when they come through, I have pain. I've had a lot of pain this week. Haven't been as normally talking as I normally do. That type of thing. Hey, Phil, how you doing? Hey, Rob, how are you doing? So this week has been kind of rough on me. I've been quiet. People kind of been like, oh, well, you okay? And it's like, you know what? I'm doing good. Because I have to keep reminding myself it can always be worse. So my takeaway this week, I think I kind of have to say, remember, it can always be worse. And when I say that, I mean it. It really can. It can be worse. It can get hard to feel good. It can be hard to want to look at the bright side. But it can always be worse. And it's your choice if you want to make it better. Hey, how you doing, Heath? How you doing, Ross? So I wanted to say that because sometimes we get to going, oh, my hip and back are active when the fronts move through. Exactly, Phil. No, exactly. That's my pain. When weather fronts move through, that's my torture. Hey, Lane, good to see you. So I sometimes, when we do these shows, we try to, talk about news, and we try to talk about this and that, but sometimes I try to remember to tell you guys, it can always be worse. When at the end of the show, I always say, keep it simple, keep it real, and remember to smile. There's a reason I say that stuff. It's not because it's my way of saying goodnight. It's my way of saying, don't forget. Life can get you trapped in smartphones and everything else. Excuse me. And I'll tell you what, it can overtake your life. But you don't have to let it. You can enjoy your life. People who know me know that when my wife is home, I don't talk to people. Hey, Michael, how's it going? It's one of those things that you have to just decide to do. My wife, when she's home, I don't talk. I'm with her. On the weekends, I really don't talk. I'm with her. I make a point to kind of cut electronics and just be with her. Because that's our way of acknowledging that each other means something. And that's important. Vision on the hip, but I think I need to ask Mingsa. Being in the constant pain sucks. Yes, Phil, being in constant pain does suck. And I'm sad to hear that you are in pain. Yeah, Rob, exactly. I mean, Rob, you are a kid. I'm older than you. Had to say that. But no, I try to, I mean, what do I bring to the station? There are funnier people than me. And there are more articulate, lower voiced people than me. What do I bring? A perspective. I try to remember to smile. I try to remember to remind you to smile. And just saw you all are live. Agree with you on the fact that we need to spend time with our family. Exactly, man. And hello, Steve. Good to see you. You have to remember to be a part to be part of your life. Koz and I have talked about it. We're going to be bringing some alternative stuff. Finally, we've decided that we're going to be bringing it. Because you guys need to see what else is out there that works. Koz is finding out the hard way because he gets desperate. Then he ends up saying, okay, fine, I'll try it. And then he finds out it works. I've known all along. Silly me. So that's what I bring. And I want you to know. Like Rob said, there is always someone worse. Okay, and I'm not joking. Okay, I'm 100% disabled. Since 1990, I've had problems, okay? And I was basically told to go home and deal with it because there really wasn't crap they could do for me. They wanted to hand me medication and let me kind of die a silent, miserable death. And I don't blame them. They didn't have anything to help me with. They really didn't. I'm the one who decided to go and make my life. I'm the one who went to alternative things to figure out how to bring myself up. Okay? Not anybody else. My second wife probably would have liked to have seen me die. So would my third. An orthopedic surgeon told me I had the spinal column of a 70-year-old. Yeah, and see, you know what? Ooh, damn, I did something I wasn't supposed to. Where'd that go? There, we got it back up. No, I was told kind of the same thing that you were. They told me that I was going to, or that I had a body of a 100-year-old, 90 to 100-year-old, when I was 28. And they were right. I did. My problems were just overwhelming to everybody. But I'm still here. I made the choice to be here. You guys can make that choice too. And I know you guys, when I did Tied Up Tuesdays, what was I? The pep talk guy, right? Mr. Rogers. But there's a reason I do that. Because there's a lot of people that don't do that. There's a lot of people who will tell you the bad news. I'm not kidding when I will say there are people worse than us. I can't imagine some of the stuff that kids have gone through in Afghanistan, some of the injuries they get, and how it crumbles their life. I can't imagine it. I went through my own crap, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It was horrible. And the thing is, you guys have to do it at a younger age than, me. So I try to remind everybody, smile. Remember to smile. Remember to keep it simple, because the world everybody loves complication. I don't. I hate complication. It's horrible. And I try not to be complicated. I try to keep my life simple. Exactly, Rob. Stand up and make yourself and lean forward. Take that first step. I'm not going to preach to you guys tonight. I am a minister, but I'm not going to preach to you. What I'm going to do is I wanted to remind y'all. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate it. I try to help people remember the good things. When I stream during the week, when I play my games, I made it a choice not to take money. If you don't know, in Facebook, when you stream, you can get what they call stars. And stars give the person that you're watching money. I don't do that. I don't want anybody's money. I want everybody to just watch and remember to be silly. When I play, I seriously am silly. You will see me get frustrated with games. I'm playing American Truck Simulator. We're driving a big rig down the road, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I still have yet to figure that out. My screen minimizes, so all of a sudden I can't see, but you guys can see what happens to the truck. And by the time I get back up, something's happened to my truck, and I've wrecked. Okay, but I laugh about it. I laugh about things. Games are supposed to be games. Games are supposed to be funny. They're not supposed to be taken seriously. Hey, get some rest, Rob. Get some rest, man. I don't blame you. Who died in an accident at Fort. Oh, geez, I'm sorry to hear that, Heath. If you can't see it, he said, I just left the visitation of a fellow soldier and family friend who died in an accident at Fort Stewart. I'm sad to hear that. Death is death. It's never a fun thing. But what I try to remind everybody, prayers to the family, Heath, prayers to the family. I try to remind everybody not to get so caught up in what everybody does to you, and everything happens to you. You know, when games first came out, everybody just played the games to laugh. The arcade games, I can remember when Nintendo came out. I really can. It was just a game. There was no deeper meaning to it. It was just a game. You played it to entertain yourself, have your family gather around, and you just sit there and play at each other. It was fun, right? Thank you, Heath. Rest in peace, Corporal Zach Holloway. Thank you. And prayers go with him. Games were games, and that's all they were supposed to be. But then people tried to make games deep. They tried to make them the answer. They tried to make them more. And unfortunately, people buy into it. I play American Truck Simulator because I like to drive. Quite honestly, I do. If I wasn't doing this and my wife wasn't so nice, I'd probably be on the road, driving, making money. Because it was something to do. I like driving the United States. It's wonderful. It is fun. The beautiful scenery that you see is just so enjoyable. But my wife convinced me not to. So I don't. And instead, what I do is podcast, stream, talk to people. And I think that's what we forget to do. Just my thoughts on that. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, because some people can't get outside of their head or get outside of their house, or both. Well, I'll tell you what. That's what I try to encourage you to do. Look me up, John Owl. You can talk. You can actually message me, and I will message you back if you just need someone to talk to. I'm here. I will, and I make myself available in the afternoon and late at night. When my wife's home, like I said, I don't talk to anybody because I'm with her. And in the morning, sometimes I'm sleeping because, well, sometimes I don't sleep well at night. So I have to put aside extra time just in case. I'm around, guys. I want y'all to remember that. When I say I care about you, and when I end the stream, I say take care, I really mean it. Every one of you makes a difference in my life, and I want to make a difference in yours. I want to help you smile during the day. People would laugh when at the end of the breaks when I did the dancing. I was trying to remind people to get up and move their arms. I mean, sitting still and just going, come on. Don't do that. You guys are the top 4% of the United States. You guys busted your butt. Don't allow yourself to forget what you're capable of. Ever. I'm D-Max. Al, this is sounding funny. Like a really bad PSA? What's that? Anyway. All right, so enough of that. I'm not going to go on. I don't want to bring you down. Let's have some fun, okay? I have some stories just for fun. Anyway, let's see. What do we have to talk about? Anybody feel like talking about... just busting my... D-Max, don't worry about it. I'm having fun. I wanted to give a little bit of a serious moment and let everybody know I cared. And let everybody know the reason I try what I do. We are going to be bringing, and if you didn't catch it, we are going to be bringing alternative people in as guests to talk about chiropractic, naturopaths, acupuncture, herbs, martial arts. And Koz agrees with me. We're going to bring that all in so that you guys can hear what's out there. And when I say, if I bring someone in, that means I know it works. And I really mean that. Okay. D-Max. Yes, you are a person. You are human, and you are a being. Michael, we're not gaming at the moment. We're talking. And I try very hard to make sure that everybody knows I do watch the chats. And I do try to converse. Anyway, we're going to talk about silliness. I'm not even going to sit there and talk about the bad things or bad parts about a story. Hello from Guan Barrel, Texas. Well, thank you very much. It's nice to see you, Arturo. Thank you. I'm going to bring up some stories just for fun. They're made to be silly. Nothing other than it's stuff that you don't see in the media that you should. Pornography greets commuters at Sweden bus stop. Commuters in a southeast Swedish city were briefly roused from their wintry routines by a public display of pornography at a bus stop outside the Central Rail Station, officials said. For about 15 minutes on Thursday afternoon, during maintenance of an interactive display in the city of Kalmar, the usual advertisements and videos were replaced by explicit images from a pornography website. We got information from a bus driver that someone had put pornographic imagery on one of our displays, said Carl Johan Bodell, traffic director of Kalmar's regional public transport company. The screen at Kalmar's central station in Sweden's southeast was quickly switched off and will remain off until the cause is uncovered. Local media reported that hackers were to blame, and Bodell conceded that hacking was the first thing that comes to mind, but stressed that the cause had not yet been confirmed. Oh, wow. Now, y'all, can you imagine? I have to admit, I don't ride the bus, but I did over in Europe, and they hadn't. When I was there, it wasn't quite as technologically, the world was not quite as technologically advanced as it is now. But from what I've heard, they're starting to put advertisements in those bus stops so that people, it's one way to pay for stuff, right? I can't imagine. It's like, okay, come on, little girl, or come on, honey, let's go to the bus stop. Whoa, honey, and put your hands over there. I mean, come on. Sometimes, though, I do worry about hackers. People seem to think it's okay. It's that horror moral compass thing. I don't know. I used to think hacking had a purpose. I don't anymore. I actually had a chance to become a hacker, and I turned it down. And that's the reason I turned it down. I saw where it was going. So, it's different. The fact that happened, well, it kind of leads into my next story. Horse takes a bus ride in Wales. A loose horse found running on a busy main road in Welsh, capital Cardiff, was put on a public bus to take it to safety. Motorists stopped to try to round up the animal after it was spotted in the fast lane on one of the main thoroughfares into the city on Thursday night. One woman who helped told the BBC, "The police arrived and we were all a bit flummoxed on what to do because we couldn't get a horse box there in time. Passerbys managed to calm the horse down, and it then happily trotted onto a Cardiff bus via its disabled ramp." She accompanied the horse to a nearby park and ride stop for its owner to collect it. He, the horse, was quite chill about it. He had a nice little 5-minute drive on the bus. It was crazy. Even the police officer said, "I need to take photos or I don't think anyone will believe it." Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Michael, that is a setting that I have behind me. Here, you see me at the beach? Let me see. Where can I go next? Now I'm at a canyon. And that is Waimea Canyon behind me. Michael, hacking, my problem is hackers tend to have problems with their morals and their ethics. And they tend to believe in their own ways of doing things, and I didn't like where it was going. So anyway, no. Now, can you imagine? I had some questions when I saw that story about the horse on wheels. It's like, okay, did the horse do what every horse does and poops? I mean, come on. And they didn't have any pictures of it. Everybody said they took a picture, but they didn't have a picture of a horse on the bus, which I found interesting. I was like, wow, why wouldn't they have a picture of the horse on the bus? But nobody had a picture. But I thought it was funny. I mean, can you imagine? A horse comes into town loose. Someone had the common sense to go, okay, we need to get it out of the traffic because, well, eventually the cars are going to spook it. And so they said, okay, let's put it on a bus. I mean, Phil, most have. No, I'm not going to go there. Hackers have their own way of thinking, and I don't think that way. It's simple as that. I started to see things, and it's like, you know what? That's just not where I'm going to go. So that's the reason I didn't go there. But no, you look at how the people could have handled that, and the fact that the bunch of people got the horse to calm down, and then they're like, oh, a bus, and they got him in. That's funny. I thought about it. It's like, and you don't hear stories about that. You really just don't. I think it's quite humorous. Now, here's a story that I found kind of something that needs kind of be talked about just because I think it's funny. We've all heard of laws that are on the books from centuries back that people just don't get around to canceling. Well, Virginia got around to one. Here's one. Virginia Democrats want to make it legal for unmarried people to have sex. Only married couples can have sex, according to a legal loophole still on the books in Virginia. Democratic state legislators in Virginia House of Democrats revealed the crime of fornication last week in the state that has long used the slogan "Virginia is for lovers" to attract tourists. Currently, fornication is a Class 4 misdemeanor and carries a fine of $250. The Virginia Supreme Court struck down the law in 2005 as unconstitutional government intrusion, though it remains in the Code of Virginia. The bill now moves to Senate. Now the Democrats are in power. I'm thrilled to get it off the books, says Levine. I think anybody would have been willing to get it. I don't like the whole Democrat thing, but I did it again. There we go. Oh, dang. I did it again. I am just having problems pushing things. There we go. Now we go. Oops. Anyway, no. I thought it was funny. Everybody, I really thought it was funny. And then I had to think about it. I have sat there and thought about there are still come to North Carolina legally. We can only do it missionary. See, there are still laws like that out there, where the laws make it so that jeez, I still know there are laws in Nebraska governing horse buggies. They haven't taken them off the books. it's funny. You have to really be someone who really loves to dig into stuff, but it is one of those things that you just sit there and wonder how many laws are there still out there. And I think there was a book or someone did an article where they actually pulled out all these excuse me, laws from different states governing things like walking on the sidewalk, what day and there are still some places where things are closed on Sundays. But there's still laws on the books for fornication, for sexual positions. No joke. There are still laws out there that are still on the books for this. And I mean, it is funny to me that they still have those. You'd think at some point someone would go, okay, let's go in, let's go through all our legislative books and say, okay, what's still considered on the book? And say, okay, does this still apply? But nobody does. It's like, what do we pay these people for? What are we paying these bureaucrats to do? They should be getting rid of these old laws. They really should. I mean, wow. I laugh because I know that, especially the Midwest, there's still a lot of funny laws on the book that govern animals, all sorts of stuff. I think it's illegal to live with your partner in Florida if you're not married. Well, see, that's just it. Those books still, or those laws still hang around. And you wonder what's still out there. You really do. I mean, you have to have access to that stuff. But I'd be curious, wouldn't you? I mean, come on, it's all in fun. I mean, how hard is it to go? This law no longer is relevant. Come on. Surprised that there are suggested tax to perform these acts. Yeah. Okay. This shows kind of my age. Back when I was in the military, back when I first got in the military and Reagan took over, okay, a lot of people got mad at him because he closed down a lot of government offices. But they started to show people what offices he was closing down. And some of them, did you know at one point there was an actual office of the tea tasting, or it was the office of tea tasting. No joke. These people, any new tea that came in had to come through them in the United States. They had to brew it, make sure it was made the way it's supposed to be made, and they set up. They did it like twice a week, where they'd set up all these teas and taste them, and then say if it tasted proper. That office had been around since the early part of the United States being born, and when tea was relevant. That office was there to taste teas and give their approval, whether if the tea was good or bitter. No joke. Okay? I could not believe when I heard this that and there were a lot of offices like these that Reagan shut down, and people were actually getting GS pay to taste tea, to cook tea, or to make tea twice a week. And then they wrote reports on every single tea, and that's all. That was their job, literally, is to taste tea and then do a government report on tea. I just couldn't believe that. He also went and had someone go through and go, okay, where do we have overlaps in jobs, in stuff? They said there were like 1,000 overlaps where there was an office here and an office here that did the same exact job for the same exact branch. They didn't even know each other existed. That, to me, that was really great that they did that. They got rid of the overlap. That's one of the things that Reagan took a lot of heat for when he did it. He cut, because all these GS jobs, all of a sudden, I mean, can you imagine? Yes, I'm paid to taste tea. Literally, 3 people. That was their sole job. They were getting paid GS money, full benefits, to taste tea. I had an interesting time with that one when I saw that. That's the reason I think at all times, I think at all times, things like that need to be kept. The government should always be checked on, and there should always be someone going, does this office need to exist, or is there one that already exists where there's an overlap? I mean, come on. It only makes sense, but who knows? I'm just a little peon disabled whatever. Here's a fun story. Utah ATM robbery botched despite use of stolen heavy equipment to smash the machine. A group of thieves in Utah failed to make off with an ATM earlier Saturday despite smashing the money machine to pieces with stolen heavy equipment. The botched robbery unfolded at a Wells Fargo bank just after 4 a.m. in Hurricane, a city in southwestern Utah. The suspects triggered several $1,000s in damage in their attempt to rip out the ATM using a stolen truck, a trailer, and heavy equipment, cops said. They did not elaborate on what the heavy equipment exactly was. Pictures from the scene showed pieces of the ATM at the bank drive-through service strewn all around the area, along with panels from the overhang above. Wow, look at all that damage. Unable to remove the machine, the suspect sped away and crashed the truck a short distance from the bank. Despite efforts from officers and canines to search it, they did not immediately find any suspects. Detectives were following several leads as part of an ongoing investigation, according to the department. Wow. Oh, Eva, don't hate everything. There's no reason to hate everything. There are still a lot of good things in this world. There really are, okay? I mean, you look at that picture, and you sit there and go, they had a lot of equipment there, and they could not bust this thing open. Wow. I mean, wow. That is a lot of stuff. And you just sitting there going, I mean, I know that a lot of effort goes into getting these things set up around the banks. The fact that they couldn't get it with heavy equipment, you have to think that they probably got a backhoe or something to just, and they still couldn't get the thing knocked out or taken out, and only for a couple $1,000s. See, they probably did more damage than what was in that money. You just sit there in your head going, whoa, that had to have been thousands of dollars worth of damage. And I know in ATMs, they don't put extreme amounts of money in those things. So that's just, wow. And Eva, there's no reason to hate everything. People are good and people are bad. I'm not going to say every person out there is good. And I'm not going to say every person out there is bad. We make our choices in life. And it does make me sad that there are people out there that feel that they have the right to steal, take things, hurt people, all in the name of their own self. It makes me sad, and it does bother me. But then I have to look at the good in the world. And there is good in the world. There's a reason I tell y'all, get out, go do things, go camping, because there is good in the world. You can have fun. You can do things that are just great to do. You have to make your own memories. You have to make your own fun. People aren't going to make it fun for you. You have to do it. And so, don't ever think, when I talk about the silliness, that's exactly what I think it is. It's silly that people would think that they were going to steal an ATM. You have to wonder about the mentality of to go out and to think, oh, I'm going to go get a heavy equipment and it's big enough it's going to bust it. I have to sit there and applaud the bank for having enough forethought to make it so hard that someone can't even take off with that ATM. That is hilarious. You think of how much that thing had to have been grounded into the ground to keep it from being pulled out with heavy equipment. Just think about that. That's funny to me. Do I like that people do this? No, Eva, I don't like people that do this. It's sad to me that people feel the need to do this. I wish we could stop people that do this. I wish we could sit there and wag our fingers and go, and that would be all that it took. But unfortunately, our societies haven't been the best at reminding parents to be parents, reminding teachers to be teachers, and that we all have an obligation to raise children so that they don't grow up to be these people. That has gotten lost in the world, and it's sad. But we are here. We are, again, I'll always say this. You guys are here. You're the top 4%. You have ethics. You were in the military, and those of you that are still watching, you must have some ethics or some care. We did what we did because we have that. And we are part of this. Let's emanate that. All right, let's go on to another story. Excuse me. I thought this was kind of humorous. India residents surprised to find beer, brandy, and rum mixture coming out of kitchen faucets. Ooh, baby, let me go there. Residents in an apartment building in India discovered free mixed drinks on tap in their kitchens earlier this week, although not the kind anyone would be hoping for. A smelly combination of beer, brandy, and rum started coming out of the faucets in Kerala on Monday after a water well became contaminated. The station says 6,000 liters of confiscated alcohol that had been seized on court orders and buried in a pit nearby accidentally seeped through the soil. Oh, baby! The children couldn't go to school, and even their parents couldn't go to work. No kidding, right? Officials promised to clean up the well, but residents say it may take up to a month. Ooh! They've been supplying about 5,000 liters of water daily, but it's not enough to cover all the families in our building. The state of Kerala has the highest consumption of alcohol in the country, according to the BBC. Wow. That is hilarious. Right, Koz? Oh, look who showed up. Right, Koz? Koz just showed up. Bad you. Wait, they didn't have a choice? Press 1 for beer, 2 for whiskey, and 3 for wine. Oh, Koz, you've been a bad boy. No, I mean, come on. You have to admit. I mean, could you imagine waking up and, turn on your phone? Oh, okay. Okay, that smells interesting. I mean, okay, we have to be honest. It's well water, and if it's seeped into the well, alcohol seeping in the well means that it's been filtrated through the dirt, which means it carries some dirt with it. And then, two, the flavoring from whatever it is, rum, brandy, beer, would be lost usually when you filtrate alcohol. What's left is usually alcohol, not the taste. So that would be kind of rough. Koz, go ahead. Sure. That's if I answer the phone. And it's 10 minutes after. If you want, I'll call you, Koz. If I call you. We'll see. Can you imagine, though, losing or having that? I mean, because I don't know about you. Okay, I've been young. I've been stupid. I've drank Everclear. That stuff is wicked nasty taste, okay? Can you imagine basically all the flavoring from those alcohols taken out, and basically what you have left is alcohol? Whew. Yikes. That could be rough. I could see where you'd probably want water over alcohol, since alcohol will dehydrate you. Oh, the things that happen in this world. You have to laugh, you really do. And you have to wonder about the people that didn't think it through when they buried the alcohol, knowing that areas around there rely on wells. You have to wonder about that. You really do. How many people were smart enough to fill every container, bucket, bathtub before they shut the water off? Okay, yeah. How many people are like, throw a little Kool-Aid in there? We got ourselves a good old time. I know. world can be an interesting place, that's for sure. Okay. Now, we were talking about silly laws and silliness, as a matter of fact, and this came up. An Australian man guilty of using cell phone while riding horse because he didn't have hands-free device. I didn't know that was a thing, okay? A man in Australia has pleaded guilty to a charge of talking on a handheld cell phone while riding a horse. Hey, Branco, good to see you, bud. The case involved a 30-year-old man in New South Wales, according to reports. He and the horse were stopped by police after he had been seen holding a cell phone to his ear while riding the rural road in October. The Mungee local court magistrate judge said, under the road rules, a horse is a vehicle. And he didn't have a hands-free device fitted to the horse. Oh, God. I've had someone charged with being drunk on a horse before, but just one, the judge said after admitting the case was a first for him. Defense lawyer Tim Kane said the client was pleading guilty because he concedes that the horse was in motion. He called the matter trivial in the extreme, according to the paper, especially in a rural area where animals are a form of transport. The man was told the charge would be expunged from his record if he stays out of trouble for 3 months. God bless. Right, Phil, as far as the alcohol one, Phil brought up, hey, take a shower before work, and everyone wonders why you smell like alcohol so early. It's the water, boss. I love it. Excuse me. That is funny. I have to think at this point, as a novelty, someone is coming up with a hands-free device for horses, for the saddle or for the reins or something. Oh God. that is funny. That is funny. Oh, I needed that laugh. How about you guys? The fact, I mean, at least the judge saw the trivialness of it. I mean, come on. And he's willing, because I mean that truly could hurt insurance. I mean, it shows up. You were driving with cell phone with no hands-free device. I'm sure on your record it doesn't say while on horse. It just says while in. In other words, it looks like you're driving a vehicle. So I'm glad that the judge saw that and was like, okay, it was a horse. We'll don't do it for 3 months. You're good. Right, Phil, that's just it. It does it go on? It goes on the saddle horn, right? Oh, I love people. They are so much fun to have a good laugh about. Oh. Oh, I needed that laugh. You think about all the things that go on and really deferred abdication, right? Like I said, there are laws, old laws on the book, and even new laws have to be worded. And you wouldn't think that a judge should have to put in there, or a legislator should have to put in there, this is for cars, not horses. Because in some places, like the judge pointed out, in where he is, a horse is considered a vehicle, and the law states vehicle. Common sense would dictate, but at the same time, you have to wonder about the policeman who wrote the ticket. Because, I mean, would you want to be the policeman that sat there and went, "All right, buddy, you realize you were using a hands-free device on a vehicle?" I wouldn't want to be that one. I would not want to be that police officer. I really would not. Right, big wheels, roller blades, wagons, those are vehicles. So you have to wonder, can a kid get nailed for it now? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, everybody, it is the top hour. Koz, why don't I give you a call? So that way you don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to answer in about 10 minutes. Everybody, we will be back in about 10 minutes. We're going to take a break, everybody. Go stretch, go stand up, move your arms and legs around, do a silly dance, smoke them if you got them, and we will see you in approximately 10 minutes. So let me get my stuff ready here, and there we go. Ooh, did I do that right? Ooh, I did not. Hold on, give me half a second. Give me half a second. Let me do it right. There we go, and there we go, and all right. Back in 10. See y'all in 10.
For coffee on a Tuesday, it's already been a bad week. My girls had a couple flats, my dishwasher sprung a leak. From the kitchen, her complaining, you know it just ain't cute anymore. I get the itch and start to drift towards the great outdoors. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a faded camo tarp. I need a reset to my spot, I hear the call. I just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. Junk mail don't come out there, my phone won't ring. The only thing I want to hear is my reel with a big one on a string. That large mouth don't talk at all, and my weight just sinks away. Set him free, bring him home, the one decision I gotta make. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. In my garage, I got rods up on the wall. I got a John boat in the yard under a faded camo tarp. I need a reset to my spot, I hear the call. Just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. I got my tackle box in the front seat and my best friend in the bed. Don't come looking for me, 'cause I ain't coming home till long after that sun sets. I smell the honeysuckle blooms, I can see the red buds too. I got the rods in my garage down on the wall. Threw my John boat in the truck, filled my camo cooler up. I hit the reset, hit my spot, and he did that call. I just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone. No, I ain't gone missing, I've just gone fishing, let her know that I ain't gone.
seems just the same old routine. Blowing trees, writing these bars, line after line, mining for a diamond, but a dime is what I find. Hiding from the truth by simply coasting through these hard times with green, even though I'm feeling blue. But I gotta face the facts, girl, you know that it's true. And maybe what I'm supposed to do is not to get so close to you. But these days the only things that seem great are fading away, and the only time I feel home is when I'm alone or far away. But the road call says the wind blows, 10 missed calls on my flip phone, so it stays closed. Staring out my window while my mind slowly goes off into my headphones, hoping that the dough will be worth it for the show, but who knows? Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day, and there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change. No, we're never gonna change. Man, day after day, it's just the same old thing. Working class life, and yes, it surely will bring a food to the table and a roof when it rains. But for the most part, you're just doing the same thing, a part of a machine with the ball and a chain. You try to be happy, yet all you feel is pain. It's a shame to use your brain and know that some will never change. But if insanity's the game, then you can take my hand and play. Life has a rhythm that I ride to, and you can come along if you would like to. And I can show you what it's like to walk in my shoes, to learn how to love just like I do. Look me in the eye and you will find truth. I'm testifying to the lying in my mic booth, and you're hating on me cause I ain't like you, and I ain't like you. Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day, and there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change. No, we're never gonna change. Yo, my life is like a movie that nobody's producing. I write the music but nobody is moving, cause don't nobody care, and everyone's confused till the characters change and never reaching a conclusion. And I don't know if I'll make it to the end, cause all I know is after we begin, the wind shifts us in many different directions, like the pen lifts up off the paper disconnected from anything we can feel, hear and see. And the words that I write mean something more than just to me. It's amazing that we've all grown accustomed to change, cause we can rearrange a pattern that's always been ingrained. They want us to grow up and stop acting how we want, but if you tell me I can't do something, I'll make sure it gets done. Yeah, let's go and roll it up, blow it all away. No sense in growing up, we laugh like kids all day, and there's nothing you can say that will ever make us change. No, we're never gonna change.
WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
All right, everybody. Let me do a quick switch over. And we are up and running for the rest of the evening. And I am going to put out a phone call. We have a guest. Guess who that guest is? Here we go. This is WTF Nation Radio. How may I help you?
Hi, we've received a report. My name is Officer Koz. I'm from the Dance Police. There's been some serious complaints, and I'm just kidding, man.
Did I commit a serious dance infraction?
Well, if you would ask Danny Terrio that question, he would probably say yes.
Oh, okay.
For all of you who don't know who Danny Terrio is, he was like the host of, what was the name of that show, like Dance Fever or
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. That was absolutely a kind of like Soul Train, but for white people that can't dance. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Hello, Holly. How are you? Yes, Koz was planning to come here all along. He is our guest tonight in the second hour. Ta-da,
yeah, we had some pretty demanding work today, and we had to call the full crew in, and it was awesome, and everything went off without a hitch, and it was really awesome. So I took my guys out for some burgers and some beers.
So the great and powerful Koz has had alcohol.
Really, no. We went to, I don't know if you guys are familiar. Anybody? I mean, because we do have some listeners here in the North Texas area, or in the North Central Texas area.
Yeah.
You know, everyone says North Texas. North Texas is freaking Amarillo.
Yeah.
North Central Texas is the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Throw Mineral Wells in there a little bit. But not Mineral Wells, but Wichita Falls.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. But anyway, if anybody's familiar with Arlington in the Arts District, they have this restaurant called Twisted Root, and they make some of the best damn burgers I've ever had before. I mean, if you're going to go out for a burger, that's a good place to get it.
And Koz is all about the food.
Yes, I am all about the food. I like to eat a lot. So, but then right, it's like a half a block away from the Twisted Root is a place called The Keg, where at any given time they have probably 120 beers on tap.
Ooh.
And if you go there from 1 week to the next week, their selection changes a lot. They just don't keep the same beers there. They have a bunch of different beers from all over the world. And usually about a choice of about 100 to 120, but it's always changing because they're always getting beers from some other place.
Very good. Wow.
But I don't now that I'm older, if I've had anything to drink, I will not drive. So I was extremely responsible in that fact.
So you didn't drive?
No, I didn't drink. I had a couple of beers and then I stopped. I had water.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
Because also, if you've ever driven in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, the traffic sucks.
Mm-hmm.
On any given day, it just sucks. It doesn't matter that it's Sunday evening.
Well, I know you were you heard the story about the alcohol on tap in India.
Yes, the organic alcohol that has been seeped through the earth and into the well.
Yes.
Earth filtration. I like that. I imagine that it would probably taste pretty bad with very, very little alcohol content.
You would have the alcohol. You wouldn't have the flavoring.
You know, one of our guests, when WTF Nation Radio first kicked off,
yes,
Red Lake put out an edict. He's like, "Hey, if you guys have ideas for guests to bring on the air, throw them at me, and we'll get them on."
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out, and one of my first guests was Emery King.
Okay.
And he runs a comedy site. He's kind of I'm really not sure exactly where he is. He kind of fell off Facebook, and he's doing the Patreon thing.
Okay.
But he's just a funny dude. He's the guy that does the Camaro and he talks about Chevys, you know, and he talks about how gay Ford owners are and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But he is a comedian. He's a stand-up comedian who had a YouTube channel, and I liked his stuff, so I got in touch with Amory, and he decided to come on WTF Nation Radio.
Yeah.
Another guest that we had was God damn it, getting old really sucks. I'm gonna have to look
You're
her
a kid.
up. I can't remember her name. Allie. What the hell is her name? Oh Jesus! I apologize. I did not come prepared. Okay.
Shame on you.
How do I work this thing?
Yes,
Allie
Josiah.
Allie Spagnola. She's from California. We had her on the air,
Yes.
and she is a musically inclined, funny lady.
Mm-hmm.
The 20s, maybe 30s now. And she and her this is either her boyfriend or her roommate. They actually filtered vodka. They bought the cheapest vodka that they could find.
Okay.
And they put it through a Brita filter like 10 times, and it ended up being good vodka after 10 filtrations.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Huh.
So I'm not saying she's a scientist or anything. She's
No,
she's super talented. She's super nice. She loves the veteran community, and so I thought that she would be an excellent guest for us here at WTF Nation Radio. So those were my first two guest pitches when I first started at the station many years ago.
Yeah. Huh.
Seems like it was yesterday, but it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. And Phil says, coming
up on our birthday here.
Phil says, don't let Spanky hear you talking about food. You might end up with a roommate that never leaves.
Right. Truer words have never been spoken. Okay, I got some info bombs to throw at you.
Okay, info bombs. Here we go. Come on.
I used to do programming and installation of ATMs.
Really?
So I can tell you that your banks that are on site, like the one that you showed earlier,
yes,
those are actually constructed into the foundation and are extremely hard to remove.
That's what I kind of figured.
The ones that are inside the bank or inside a convenience store or inside a supermarket or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, those things are really set into the ground with half-inch bolts.
Wow.
Like 4 of them, one at each corner. And as far as the amount of money that an ATM can hold, it's usually, maxed out, probably $200,000, but they rarely keep around 10 grand in them.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't keep much money in those things.
They
really
can. They are capable of holding hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. And was it Phil said you can't take a shower with it, meaning the alcohol.
Well, unless, like he said, unless you want to go to work smelling like a distillery.
Exactly. And then you have your boss in there going, "Okay, explain."
But then you have plausible deniability, and you have an excuse. You actually have a reason. You can do an alcohol test on your shower water.
Only if you live in India at the moment.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's India. It's got some really crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
You see the reports. If you pay attention to like world news, and if you look at India, it's like this calf was born with 6 heads and 3 eyeballs, and they're worshiping it as a god.
Oh wow!
Rather than look at all the pollution in the water and in the soil,
than look at what caused it.
No, they're going to worship this thing.
Well, and that's just it. They're kind of growing up in a faster. They have to grow up faster than we did, and they still don't want to. It's kind of like their laws and their conscience and their common sense aren't catching up with the truth, the reality of what's really going on around them.
I'm not going to bag on India. I think India is a beautiful country.
Oh yeah, but
it's just I think when it's kind of like the Middle East, man. When you start using religion and religion only to base your entire law structure upon, you get some really messed up stuff.
Well, okay.
And I'm saying the United States is similar, but we kind of go with the flow, and we change and we evolve and we get better. So,
Well, here's
I'm not going to talk shit about anybody else's country, but
here's kind of how I have you ever watched the show Ice Road Truckers?
I watched a couple of episodes of it. I didn't get hooked on it.
Okay.
I did watch like Life Below Zero.
I
got hooked on that for a good number of seasons.
They did Ice Road Truckers. They took the guys who did Ice Road Trucking and took them over to India and have them drive truck in India trucks.
Well, they don't have ice. This is weird.
But the roads are a lot more dangerous, and the trucks are a lot less regulated.
Well, when you're driving a rickshaw, yeah.
You're talking their trucks. The regulations on industry over there are so different that the trucks that they produce for commercial transportation are really kind of scary as far as how they're put together and how flimsy they are. And the roads that they have, if you go anywhere, you have to make sure that the road meets certain requirements. Not there. If a truck fits, it goes. And the roads that these guys were driving on, they would have, and they showed from the camera pointing down out the window, inches. And they were literally, they pulled their mirror in so they could have their truck up against the side of the mountain.
I've seen some of those videos, both in India and in China. Mm-hmm. Just these crazy commutes, where it's two-way traffic, but you're on the road.
Yeah,
and there's room for one vehicle, but it's two-way traffic. So some people have to wait, other people get to drive.
Yeah,
and they kind of switch off.
And that's what they actually showed is the difference. And that's the one thing I kind of took away from it was they're trying to adapt the move in technology and the ability to have things, but their laws and their thinking haven't caught up to it. So they're allowing things that are shoddy to be put in place and to be used because there's no regulations about it. If it works,
I work with a guy who's from Kenya.
Okay.
He immigrated to the United States and he joined the military.
Yeah.
And he served as an NCO. I think he got out. He didn't do 20 years. He got out. He did like 10 or 12 years, and he got out. He was from El Paso.
Okay.
And I work with him now, and he talks about growing up in Kenya, and it's much the same.
Yeah.
It's much the same. With crappy roads and shitty cars, or the roads are so bad you don't dare drive a vehicle down it. If you go into the bigger cities, everyone's on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people. Out in the country, the roads are not improved, so it's like you got a water buffalo hauling a trailer full of stuff on it.
Yeah, and that's
because you just can't drive on that kind of road.
No, you can't. I mean, and Lord help if it's rain or if it's anything other than dry, because at that point it makes it that much harder.
All right, you also did a spot on dumb laws.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We used to. I think when we started this, it was either me or my previous host, Badger. Mm-hmm. We used to talk about just crazy laws, stupid laws, bad laws.
Yeah.
Not even bad laws. It's just like, it's like laws that haven't been taken off the books that really serve no purpose and they just need to go. So I've got a list.
Oh boy.
I pulled this up from one of our older broadcasts.
Now see what happens when you take your time, you come in late, is you have time to do stuff.
It was like 30 minutes or so. I think I got home at around 7:30 my time. So I had about 30 minutes to kind of throw some things together. And that's when I heard the dumb laws thing and then the ATM thing.
Okay. So
in Alabama, I know we have listeners in Alabama, bear wrestling matches are prohibited. So if you're in Alabama, you cannot wrestle bears. Or actually, you cannot. You can wrestle bears, but it can't be like an organized match.
Okay.
Kind of going down the line alphabetically through the states. Alaska, moose may not be viewed from an airplane.
Okay. You have to
Okay,
wonder what created these laws.
I don't know. There's no credit to who made these laws or when it was enacted. So in Arizona, it is illegal to promote the use of or own more than 6 dildos. So those of you who are in Arizona, please keep your dildo collection to 6 or below.
Or don't promote it.
In Arkansas, it is strictly prohibited to pronounce Arkansas incorrectly. You can't say it's Arkansas, like our lovely minks used to do. California animals are banned from mating publicly within 1,500 feet of a tavern, school, or place of worship.
Oh, Phil said you and Jim Beam talked about that too back on Wednesdays. Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Right. I mean, way back. I mean, God, I wonder how Jim Beam's doing. Connecticut, it is illegal for a barber to hum a tune while cutting your hair. I would prefer them to concentrate on the task at hand. But it's not like they're defusing a bomb. It's just a haircut, right?
Yeah, all right.
Delaware, alcohol may not be served in nightclubs if dancing is occurring on the premises at the same time.
Okay.
I guess there's no dance clubs in Delaware.
Exactly.
Okay. You know how we always talk about Florida, man?
Yes.
Here's a Florida law.
Okay.
Having sexual relations with a porcupine is illegal.
You got to know the back. I would love to know the backstory on that one.
It's crazy. They had to make a law. You think you'd figure that out, you know?
All right, down in Florida, no having sex with porcupines. Stop it.
Georgia's an interesting one. No one may carry an ice cream cone in their back pocket if it is a Sunday. This law really it lacks context.
I'm speechless on that one. Why would you put an ice cream cone in your back pocket, let alone on a specific day?
Everybody knows it goes in your front pocket. Stupid. Hawaii. I'd like to know some context on this one. Coins are not allowed to be placed in one's ears. I have never felt the need. I mean, even as a kid, I stuck shit in my nose and my ears and stuff. It's just I've never, ever been inclined to put coins in my ears.
Again, yeah, I'd love to know the context.
Idaho. Dirt may not be swept from one's house into the street. That may have been come about during the height of the Dust Bowl. They just didn't need any help. They didn't need any more dust on the street, so they made a law.
Yeah, okay.
The great state of Illinois. Those under 21 can drink legally, but they must be enrolled in a culinary program to do so.
Oh, you know why?
Why?
Because in culinary programs, you have to be able to use alcohol with your cooking.
Yes, I mean, it's more of a tool than anything else.
So therefore, they have to be able to taste it.
There's no noodling in Indiana. You cannot. There's a law in the books that say no one may catch a fish with his or her bare hands.
Okay.
And noodling is the practice of catching catfish with your hands.
Okay.
It's where you basically entice them to
go after your fingers.
Bite your fingers.
Yeah.
Swallow. They pretty much swallow your hand, and then you just grab them. And I've never done that. I've never wanted to do that.
No, I wouldn't either.
In Iowa, ministers must obtain a permit to carry their liquor across state lines. Just ministers, not everyone else. Just if you're ordained, you must have a license or a permit to carry liquor across state lines. Kansas, hitting a vending machine that stole your money is illegal. So if you're up at War Horses for Veterans and a vending machine in the hotel that you stay in, which is paid for by War Horses for Veterans. If that vending machine steals your money, you can't beat it up.
It's against the law.
It's against the law. Kentucky, one may not dye a duckling blue and offer it for sale unless more than 6 are for sale at once. Why? In Louisiana, it is a $500. We're like it's going to be Fat Tuesday the day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So in Louisiana, if you're celebrating Fat Tuesday, just keep in mind. I don't want anybody to go to jail or anybody to call 415-889-8367 and say, "Hey, I need bail money because I was in Louisiana and I was arrested," because it's illegal to instruct a pizza delivery man to deliver a pizza to your friend without them knowing.
The fact that they had to make it a law.
Right. We had for the last couple of weeks and for the last couple of shows, we've had a listener from Maine. I forget who the gentleman was. But in Maine, advertisements may not be placed in cemeteries.
That's interesting.
I've been to a couple of cemeteries, and I really don't remember seeing any billboards or advertisements like every other grave site.
No, I have myself never seen such a thing, but okay.
We have some East Coast listeners. So in Maryland, persons may not swear while on the highway.
Oh my! Now here's the fun part. How would they know?
I don't know. And what does that mean to be on the highway? Does that mean driving, or does that mean walking on the highway?
Yeah, it's kind of ambivalent. It's kind of like the law that we talked about, where the Australian guy got a ticket for hands-free device while riding a horse.
That's crazy.
Because they consider a horse a vehicle.
Yeah, it all depends on what the law says.
Exactly.
Michigan, no man may seduce or I'm sorry. Let me start over. In Michigan, no man may seduce and corrupt an unmarried girl, or else he risks 5 years in prison.
Where's that?
Michigan.
Wow.
Minnesota, airplanes may not land in city parks. Keep that in mind, all you pilots out there. This is an interesting one. Mississippi. If one is a parent to 2 illegitimate children, that person will go to jail for at least 1 month.
Wow. They're harsh.
This list is crazy. Missouri, one may not drink in a bar between 2 and 6 a.m. Okay. I don't go to bars. I don't know what time they close. I know they don't open at 6 a.m.
Somewhere around between 1 and 3.
I'm thinking 2. 2 is a good closing time for a bar. Great state of Montana. One may not pretend to abuse an animal in the presence of a minor. Nebraska. This is your home state, isn't it?
Yeah.
Persons with an STD may not marry.
Interesting.
Nevada. Sex toys are outlawed.
All right, everybody in Nevada, you heard it. No sex toys. Gone.
New Hampshire, it is illegal to collect and carry away seaweed at the beach, but only at night.
Okay, I'd love to know the story behind that one, too.
I wonder if you can hold the seaweed in your pocket.
But only, okay, you're not allowed to take away seaweed only at night.
Only at night. Only at night. New Jersey, all motorists must honk before passing another car, bicyclist, skater, and even a skateboarder.
Okay, all right, we'll go with that, okay.
I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
New Mexico. Persons may not spit on the steps of an opera house.
Oh, my. That has a story.
North Carolina, a marriage can be declared void if either of the two persons is physically impotent.
Interesting. You have to wonder if anybody really knows about that law and uses it.
I don't know. North Dakota, one may be jailed for wearing a hat while dancing, or even for wearing a hat to a function where dancing is taking place.
Again, I'd love to know the context of that.
Ohio, if one loses their exotic animal, they must notify the authorities within 1 hour.
Okay, I'd go with that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
When I lived there, we actually had a. I don't remember if it was I lived in the Toledo area for a couple of years, and there. I mean, you're really close to the Michigan border. I don't remember if this was in Michigan or if this was down in Ohio, but there was a big wild. It was like a safari.
Yeah.
Where you can drive through. They got lions and tigers and giraffe and zebras and stuff. They actually lost a. I want to say it was a couple of tigers got out. So I wonder if that
came from that law.
I don't think it came from that law. I think I'm just wondering if they complied with that law.
Yeah. Again, these are laws that you have to wonder: do people even know they're on the books?
Oklahoma, it is illegal for the owner of a bar to allow anyone inside to pretend to have sex with an animal. Pennsylvania, persons convicted of felonies may not operate bingo games.
Okay. That's interesting.
Rhode Island, no person may bite off another's limbs. Really, really super happy they put that on the books. Just so we all know.
I was going to say, did they have a problem with rampant cannibalism up in Rhode Island?
Really don't know.
That's worth looking up now, going, okay, did the state all of a sudden just decide that they were cannibals and they had to make a law?
As far as all these stupid laws, I really wonder how many of them just are not enforced anymore.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like you must, like in Florida, one of our listeners mentioned that you have to be married to cohabitate.
Mm-hmm. It really makes you wonder. When did that law go on the books, and when did people stop recognizing it?
And rather than go through the legislative process and get it rescinded, they just don't enforce it anymore.
Yeah, I understand it.
It's cheaper to not enforce a law than to
remove it.
Go through the process of being on it and whatnot. Texas, and this is my state. I love Texas. I'm an engineer, and I do a lot of work, and the wire cutters cannot be carried in your pockets. Dude, I do that every single day.
I was going to say, what?
Every single day I have wire cutters in my pocket.
You should go to work. And as soon as you walk in, when you see guys sticking the wire cutters in their pockets, go, okay, I got to call the police.
That's illegal. I'm calling security. I'll find the statute and just have all my fucking coworkers that I just bought burgers and beers for, arrested.
Well, either that or pay someone who they don't know to come in looking like a police officer and start writing tickets.
Then we all lose our security clearances, and then the job doesn't get done.
No, I mean, in other words,
get canceled.
In other words, play. In other words, not real.
State of Washington.
Uh-oh.
X-rays may not be used to fit shoes.
Okay.
Apparently, your Al Bundys are out there selling shoes, and they're like doing X-rays to determine the size of your shoe.
Right, Phil? Phil says it looks like Koz is going to jail.
I'm going to jail, man. I hope y'all come and put some money in my canteen fund and send me cards and stuff. West Virginia. I know this is gonna. If anybody in our listening audience is wanting to run for public office, just know that a person may not hold public office in West Virginia if they have ever participated in a duel.
Oh, you know where that goes back to.
Oh,
That goes way back.
I'm sure it does. Wisconsin. All you cheeseheads out there, margarine may not be substituted for butter in restaurants unless it is requested by the customer.
Oh, context.
And finally, Wyoming. Junk dealers may not make any business transactions with drunk persons.
Okay, then.
Right. And that's the exact reaction that I had. I'm like, oh, all right. No dealing with drunk dudes or ladies. So how have you been, man?
Not bad. I had a nice first hour, but then this guy decided he wanted to come on.
Who's that? That bastard. Kind of derailed your show, huh?
Really? No. This week wasn't too bad. Like I told everybody, I don't really try to tell. A lot of people don't know. I don't have good days and weeks, sometimes even months, because of the weather. And this last week was not a good week. And it's people are like, well, with arthritis, it's cold, right? And the first thing I say is, no, arthritis, it's weather change. And because for some odd reason, this is a year where we're getting weather like it's spring. Spring is not a good time for me because that's when we get weather fronts that move through.
So is it a barometric pressure thing, or is it just your temperature fluctuations?
Not temperature, barometric pressure.
Is it okay? It's a pressure thing.
Yeah, pressure. As silly as it sounds, pressure actually does affect how you feel. And when you've got arthritis, it actually feels your joints feel like they're getting pressed. And it actually causes inflammation. And depending on how you swell, some arthritises, they swell outwardly and your fingers look like sausages. With me, mine swell inwardly and my fingers just turn red and look bony because it actually kind of cuts the circulation off to my fingers and my toes and such.
Yeah, we did talk on the phone a little bit last night.
Yes.
And I've been seeing a chiropractor, and I've been swearing off chiropractic for a long time just because my first experience at a chiropractor was horribly painful.
Yes.
The reason I went to that chiropractor is I was playing with my daughter, and she had been walking for probably 6 months.
Yeah.
So she was at the running stage, right? And she would run at me and run it, she would run into my arms. And I said, hey, we're going to make this fun. You're going to run toward me, and I'm going to launch your ass across the freaking bedroom, and you're going to land on the bed. We have a huge king-size bed.
Yeah.
She really, really liked that a lot. So it was always after one time, she's like, woo, do it again. She'd climb down, and then she'd run away, and then she'd run at me again. So there was probably about 30 minutes of that. One more. Do it again, Dad. Do it again, Dad. Do it again, Dad. And I finally I pulled something in my back. So I was just like, crap. I went to work the next morning, and I'm just like, I'm hurting. I'm hurting, man. It hurt for me to walk down the hangar to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm holding onto the wall and just, seeing stars. And so after work that day, I think I left work early that day. I'm like, I know where a chiropractor is, because I'm against going to a doc, a doctor who's just going to throw medicine at it. Some muscle relaxers, and then I'll be like, all kind of loopy for however long. So I went to a chiropractor because I'm like, hey, I'm going to do the natural thing. They're just going to give me a little alignment, and I'm going to be good to go.
Yeah.
So they did the alignment, and then he said, wow, you got some real muscle spasms out there. So they hooked up an electrode, one like on the left side of my body, if you're looking at my back.
Yeah.
One on my left kidney, and then another electrode on my right butt cheek, and they would inject current. Mm-hmm. And it would stimulate the muscles, and then they'd switch it to my right kidney, left butt cheek. Yeah. And shoot current that way. And it was just at the end of it, dude, I sat in my truck in pain. After I paid them for that thing, whatever I went through, I paid these fuckers like $230 for torture, essentially. And I sat in my truck for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes until I had the, I got myself together and I had the strength to actually push the clutch down on my truck.
Wow.
It was so painful. And that was 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So, I finally went back because I was in an accident when I was in the service, service connected or whatever. And I've always had back issues, lower back issues, and then my neck. And it's gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm sick and damn tired of this. It had gotten worse. Some days were worse than others. So I ended up going to the chiropractor probably 3 weeks ago on a Tuesday. I remember it was a Tuesday. And the chiropractor gave me a little bit of an adjustment. And like that evening was great. I slept awesome. Because I'm normally waking myself up with pain and whatnot. And it didn't hurt. I slept well. So I went back, and I've been going back twice a week, and it's really kind of great.
Oh yeah.
I ended up buying a massager. One of those things, you plug it into the wall, and it's a deep tissue massager. And I'll go and work out the muscles on my neck and stuff, and it's really awesome, man.
Well, and I had actually mentioned to our chats that we're going to start, because of your chiropractic, and now you no longer have issues with chiropractic, that we're going to start, you and I had agreed that we're going to start bringing in alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and this is, it's a touchy subject for a lot of veterans. Because
I don't know why chiropractic would be, because the VA does offer chiropractic care.
Just recently.
Since 1999.
They really didn't push it up until the last 4 years.
Right. Over the last probably 3 years, the VA has been open to alternative treatments, as in lieu of a medical treatment. They want to offer veterans alternative treatments that are non-medical.
It's just recent, and it's part of the pain management program.
Yes.
And that's what I've been seeing a chiropractor since 2000, 2001.
How often do you go? Because I'm gonna cut her off, and I'm gonna start doing my stuff at the VA, and I kind of really feel bad about it because she's super nice.
Well,
and she's really super awesome.
It's a matter of finding someone that listens to you, so they do it the way you need it to be done. And that's something that you and I, when we do this with the alternatives, we can explain that we can explain to everybody what they do, the different instruments that they use. And even my chiropractor has said, he's going to explain how to know that you're dealing with someone who's probably not reputable. Because even if they're a chiropractor, does not mean they do a good job, and does not mean that they pay attention. And I can tell you, and he can tell you, there are chiropractors that will demand. You'll go to them and they'll say, "Well, I'll do it, but you're going to have to pay so much up front, and you're going to have to come back to me, and this is how it's going to be." And these guys are the guys that you have to watch out for. Good chiropractors will not demand money up front, meaning $1,000 or $2,000.
Oh, hell no! No,
but,
I'd have walked out the door.
But there are people that do this.
I did sign up for a no. It's a no contract thing, but it's just like for $79 or whatever, you get 4 adjustments a month.
Yeah, well,
and that's great. That's $20 an adjustment. That's reasonable.
But there are people out there that actually will tell you that, well, I can take care of it, but you're going to have to give me this up front, and that's these many treatments. And that is what there are guys out there that will do this, and that's the type of thing that, one, I'd like to warn everybody against. And then two, there are actually instruments that chiropractors should have in their office and use if you have hesitations. Because we all know, you guys have been through a lot. Some of you don't want people touching you. And some of you are in enough pain that they have to be a little bit more ginger with you. I'm one of those people. Okay, and so is my wife. They actually have things. I call it the clicker, where it actually just nudges rather than someone wrenching and snapping and cracking things. It nudges things back in place.
My first treatment, she's like, okay, I'm getting ready to do a neck adjustment. Most of my pain is in my neck, on the right side of my neck. So I told her, I said, hey, this is where it hurts mostly. So she did for lack of better word, she snapped my neck, and everything was great. But that didn't really get rid of the pain. It kind of moved the pain around. And going to a chiropractor, it's not something it's not a one and done thing. It's a maintenance type thing.
No.
So the next time I went, I said, hey, let's not do the neck crack thing. So she massaged my neck and my neck muscles and the cervical vertebrae in my neck, and she didn't snap my neck, but she did have that little clicker tool, and which relaxes the muscles. It's really awesome. It's like a punch. It's like an auto punch.
Yes.
But with a blunt end, and she loosens up the muscles in the neck, and then she massaged the neck, and it was great. It was awesome.
And that's the idea that kind of the reason I wanted to come to WT in the first place is because when Trump came in, he opened up the gates because it had been there, but nobody had been allowed to use it as far as the alternatives. Trump said, make it happen. Okay? So pain management clinics now have to offer alternatives. And you need to know the alternatives. And you need to know, because, excuse me, man, I'm having a problem. There are, yes, chiropractors in the VA, but they also offer acupuncture now. And they may not be with the VA. They may have to send you to someone. And they have people that they have on a list that they can send you to that the VA pays for. There's acupuncturists. There's myofascial release specialists.
Have you done acupuncture? I've always been curious about that.
That's on my list. I'm actually hoping to do that in the next couple months. That's something I know of 2 acupuncturists. Both have said that they'd like to work with me because of my problems, and because they want to show me so that I can speak well of it when I talk to WTF chats. But there's also myofascial release. This is something that I also endorse because I've had to use it. You've heard of tendinitis. You've had problems where sometimes, have you ever you've heard of tennis elbow, things of that nature?
Yeah.
Okay. These things are actually something that you can get rid of, because people think that if you have tennis elbow, you're never going to get rid of it. They'll give you shots. They'll give you injections that hurt like hell and barely take away. It'll take away the problem for maybe 2 or 3 months. Okay. Same thing with some of tendinitis. All these things. They're all they have is shots. You go to a myofascial release specialist, and he actually stretches the areas that need, and actually pulls on them and gets them to pop away from what's causing them to actually adhere. And then he gives you some stretching exercises to do at home. I had tendinitis, not this last year, but this last November, but the November before. I went to a myofascial release specialist, and after going to him 4 times, I don't have a tennis elbow anymore.
Have you ever played tennis?
No, I don't play tennis.
Neither do I. I don't get it.
But it's a tendon thing. It's a tendon problem. And what a myofascial release specialist does is work on your bone structure versus your tendons and ligaments and how they make you stand, walk, things like that. In other words, you've seen people walking with their shoulder up or something like this. That's what these guys would do, is actually get you to where your body is balanced.
Another thing that I did after my last, I had an adjustment on Thursday because I had Friday off. So Thursday I had an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well, payday's here. I've got some cash. So I went to the massage parlor, I guess.
Yeah.
And just had a 20-minute massage. Dude, I I felt so good after that. I was just like, man, I tipped the dude $10. That's how good I felt.
Good.
At the end of everything. I was just like, man, this is awesome. It was crazy because I was kind of honey-dicked into it because you walk in and they're all Asians. So you have this 20-something Asian girl. She's like, oh, I'll take care of you. And then, I sign up and I wait. And then I walk to the back. I sit in the chair, and this Chung Lee looking motherfucker comes out. It's built like a brick shit house. It ends up working me over for 20 minutes. And I'm telling you, dude, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God. You're not the cute Asian girl.
No.
And
Once
he's
you
like,
get
put
past
your
that,
head down here, and then he went to work, and oh my gosh, dude, it was really something. It was very, very remarkable. It was awesome. I've never had a massage before, so that's my first massage experience. It was really great.
well, you've just Phil says, I'll drive the 3 hours to try that, Koz. I've been hurting since before summertime.
Oh, dude, find a chiropractor in the area, man.
Okay, and
I'll go to a place that's called The Joint here in Texas. They're pretty prevalent. Go in there. It's like $29. I can send you a card.
what state are you in, Phil?
It gives me points or whatever that's worth. But it's the name of the business is called The Joint.
What I'll tell you, Phil, is the way to find a good chiropractor. One, they shouldn't ask for more than one session up front. Two, they should be willing, if you've got extensive problems like me, they actually did x-rays. If you go in and you say, I really got these problems, if they're willing to sit down and go over, they explain everything that they do to you. They don't just say, okay, lay there, they actually explain it as they go. Those are the people that are listening to you. They have to know if you got any broken bones or fusions. Hood Pip. I'm in Hood Pip.
He's at Hood.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you're down in Texas. So, like you said, what's it called? The Joint. That you said?
Yeah, it's called The Joint.
Look up The Joint. And if there's one in your local area, I guess they're franchised. And Koz gives them his thumbs up.
Definitely my thumbs up.
So,
and they were good. I mean, because we did have a consultation, and we talked about where the pain is, how physically active are you, and just all the general questions. Mm-hmm. And then she did.
Well,
all the good things. And
be aware, there are ways to make sure things help. And I don't know. I'll tell you as I'm telling them. Everybody says, "Oh, ice." No, when you first go, it used to be that I would actually have my chiropractor had rice bags that are heating pads that they throw in the microwave, and then I could put it on my back. And
I was really big on ice, so I ended up buying a bunch of ice packs.
Yeah. Afterwards, ice is good. Beforehand, you want to loosen your spine to get the best possible outcome.
Drink water too. And it sounds crazy, but they're like after an adjustment or after a massage, you want to drink a lot of water because when you get either an adjustment or get a massage, that releases a lot of lactic acid into the bloodstream. So you want to flush that out. So you want to drink a lot of water after a massage or after an adjustment.
If you don't, you'll feel sick the next day.
Almost, or you'll be sore.
Yeah.
I was really, really sore after my first adjustment.
So my advice is try to heat your back up before you go. Have them pop it, and then you want to use ice and drink water. It really works well. The first time, I guarantee you, it's going to be awkward. Phil said there's one down there.
It's still awkward for me. I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But usually, when I go in, I'll sign in. I'll go back there, and I never spend more than 3 or 4 minutes back there. It's like it's a quick. We're going to stretch you out. Here's an adjustment. See you next time. It doesn't take a lot of time at all.
No, and I can tell you the amount of help that you get. And this is some of the stuff that's going to come up when we actually bring in a chiropractor. I'm going to bring in some pictures that he has that show you where nerves come out the nerves that come out from your spine. Certain areas have certain nerves, and I know this because I've had the problem. My lower spine tried to fuse because of my arthritis, and it actually came down and started to press on certain nerves that actually made me hurt, feeling like there was a bowling ball in between my legs, and it felt like a weight, but it also hurt.
Like hanging from your sack, or just a bowling ball between your legs?
Just from my hips.
Oh, okay.
And it felt like, and then my left leg tried to go numb at the same time. My chiropractor, they had me scheduled for surgery to go in there and surgically release that and to fuse it. My chiropractor, in one try, got that to release. My neurosurgeon turned around and wrote me a prescription to see a chiropractor from then on because of what he did.
So when you go to the VA, and I haven't approached the VA with this. This is all on my own dime.
Yeah.
But I know that the VA does offer chiropractic care.
Yes, they do.
Does the VA, and I'm pretty sure this is based on wherever your medical center is or your VA hospital is. Do they have chiropractors on site, or is this a referral basis? Go see a chiropractor and the VA will cover the cost.
That comes down to each VA is different. My VA,
yeah, and that's what I figured.
My VA has chiropractors. My VA does not have a naturopath, nor do they have a myofascial release specialist or an acupuncturist. Or they do actually have acupuncturists. So if they have them, you have to go there. If they don't have them and you get put on the pain management program, they have to give you a VA referral and they have to pay for it, as long as your doctor has said that you need it.
No problem. I can handle that.
Yeah. So.
And this is all new to me. I've only been doing this for the last couple of weeks, and I've had some really great results. I really encourage people to explore chiropractic if you have any body pains, man.
Well, and there's a lot of things that chiropractic can help. And I'm going to give you a quick little understanding. My wife, sometimes her shoulders pop out. They put them back in. He can put it back in a matter of 2 seconds. My hips will pop out. He can get that back in a matter of 3 or 4 seconds. Sometimes, and this is one that I told Koz about. In your back, sometimes do you feel if you've had times where you swear it hurts to breathe and you push on your ribs and it'll stop hurting, but but when you take your hand off, it starts hurting again. It's actually in your back. It's called what they call rib heads, and there's cartilage that connects your ribs to your spine, and that cartilage can flux back and forth, and if it's not pushed in and it comes out, it will actually cause just all sorts of nerve pain.
Yeah, just lube that shit up with some barbecue sauce, and ribs are awesome. I like ribs.
Anyway, that's the type of stuff that chiropractors can do. Have a compressed spine, which with nerve damage, pretty much what you described for yourself. Yeah, I can tell you, if you're VA eligible, check to see if your VA has a chiropractor. If your VA does not have a chiropractor, would I suggest waiting for 2 or 3 months to go see a chiropractor? No. I'd go tell your doctor, I want to go to pain management, and then from pain management, you want to go to see a chiropractor, and they should authorize it as long as that's within the bounds of your problems. But while you're waiting, go somewhere and have it started.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that expensive.
No.
It's not that expensive. If you have an HSA, if you go to the joint, they do accept HSA. They don't accept insurance, but they will accept an HSA. If you have an HSA card, which is a health savings account card, for my job, I'm a single dude, so the company throws in like $500 at the beginning of the year, and every company's different. Yeah. So you have this balance. Usually, I use it for like glasses or something like that at the end of the year. But you can use it for whatever. If you go to Walmart and you buy a bunch of aspirin or whatever, you can use that to pay for medical things. So yeah, they accept the HSA card as well.
So keep things like this in. And Koz and I, now that I've got him on board, we're going to start bringing this stuff in, because the VA is supposed to be offering this to you, and they don't know how. Quite honestly, I'm part of the group that works with the VA out here. And the VA doesn't know how to go about this. Literally, they have the alternative people coming in and telling the doctors what they do, because the doctors don't even know what they do and what they can help. They actually have one of our people as a consultant who sits there, and when they're handed someone's problem, and they say, okay, what would help this guy? Because they don't know. That's gotcha. How uninformed doctors are to the alternatives.
I'm just against having a doc throw, because you see a medical doctor, the first thing they want to do is throw meds at you,
and I'm
against that.
So that's what I and Koz have talked about now, and we're going to start striving towards that, because you guys deserve it. You guys deserve to have the information so you can be an informed consumer and an advocate for yourself. All right?
And I can't let this broadcast go. I mean, I know we're a little bit over time, but coronavirus update. Okay. When I first started listening, which was at around 7:30, which I'm in Central Time. Mm-hmm. When I first logged in, I'm like, hey, how many coronavirus cases do we have? And it was 78,999. During the course of this last hour, we're now at 79,619 cases. Huh. With all of the newer cases, either on the Diamond Princess, which is the boat that's docked outside of Japan.
Yes.
Italy has been hit pretty hard. They've had 78 new cases just today.
Wow.
57 new cases on the Diamond Princess with one death, 327 cases in South Korea, and 467 cases with the new deaths in China, 989. So that's pretty horrible.
And that's just what is being reported.
That's just what's being reported.
Because North Korea ain't saying shit.
They're not even on the list.
And China isn't telling the truth for political reasons.
Probably.
So, all right, guys, you need to be safe out there. It's just as simple as that. You need to be safe.
So we got a couple more shows, or actually we got one more show during the week. On Sunday you can catch Kicking It with Koz here with me and Owl every Sunday at 2000 hours Eastern. On Monday you can catch the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. Flash is back. Tuesday, guess what? We got a show on Tuesday. If you guys haven't caught CQ's show, it's really good, man. He's the pop culture warrior. This dude knows so much. He's got a lot of knowledge in his head about anywhere from new movies. He talks about movies and like new video games coming out. He's really knowledgeable on both of them.
Yes.
on subjects. So you can catch that on Tuesdays. Of course, all the show times are at 2000 hours. Thursdays is Sergeant's Time.
Exactly.
With Ice, and then we're back to Sundays. And don't forget, every once in a while, several times a week, Grunt's Gaming Network. The Grunt dudes, the Grunt Gamer dudes are on there. They don't do the Mixer broadcast. They do their stuff on Discord.
Yes.
But you'll always, if you sign up for or if you're on the main page, the U.S. Army WTF Moments, and you have the that little thing clicked to get notifications when we go live, they're live almost every day of the week.
Yes. And also,
they usually go live around 1930.
Yeah, that sounds about right. About 1930.
1930 Eastern.
Okay, and we have, as far as lineup, there is a guest on the 24th, which is a Monday, the Bayou Bandits. The Bayou Bandits will be on the show to talk about their music and what they do for the veteran and military communities. The founder of the band, Joshua Strickland, is a combat veteran having served in Afghanistan in the United States Army and is the recipient of numerous awards and decorations. They will be featuring their single, Kandahar, on the show and talk about the process behind writing the song. And that will be on tomorrow.
I think I ripped that. Did I supply that to you?
No.
I know I have it. It's good. It's a really good song. It's really a super good song.
Okay. All right, everybody. That we are a little bit past our time. So
do you think we get some OT for this? You know what I'm saying?
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Maybe when we work overtime, we get to take some snacks from Spanky.
Oh, our hands would get hurt. Our hands would be chopped off for such an act.
That's all right.
All right, everybody. We are at the end of the show. Thank you for showing up, as always. You guys have been good. We love you all and appreciate you showing up. As I have always said, hold it first. Koz, any words of wisdom for our great and wonderful audience?
I am not good and I am not wise.
I'm going to say what I always say. Keep it simple, keep it real, and remember to smile. Because, again, you just don't know whose day you're going to help, including your own. All right, everybody, that's the end of the show. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. We love y'all. And, well, have a good and wonderful rest of your week.
F Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show.